you doing, everyone? Terry with Modern Shaver here. Just out here in my garden, enjoying whiskey, old-fashioned. I made this with honey syrup, Angostura bitters, and a lovely French single malt by Ehrling. Give it a try sometime. I'm out here today because I want to talk to you about one of my favorite safety razors. It's called the Rose Razor. What makes this unique is that A, it's the only safety razor ever produced that doesn't require you to throw away the blade. Now there's been copycats of this, so I guess in honesty there's more than one version. This razor here has a head that is permanent, and the only time you would throw it away is if it was dented or just got so dull that you couldn't re-hone it. Speaking of honing, let's get to the bottom of how this thing works. The razor is made in such a way that on one side of the case you have what we refer to as a hone or a sharpening stone, and on the other side you have a leather strop. It's a safety razor, honing and stropping for daily use, and puts it into the convenience of a safety razor. And I'm going to give you some close-ups later so you can see this. So you've got a handle here and the blade. And the handle runs along the back of the spine here of this blade. And it's got a twist knob here which allows you to lock it in place. And the reason why it's a safety razor is because there's a guard here. So you can't actually cut your throat. But it looks just like a portion of a 1-inch wide safety razor. That's why I call it a hybrid. It's fairly light. It is all metal. Just some grooves here so then it doesn't slip out of your hands. I've taken off the strop portion of this case. The whole thing is aluminum. It kind of looks like a big sardine can, and a lot of people will refer to it as that. The gray side is the honing side, so it's a sharpening stone. And once a week or whenever it goes dull, you would hone the blade by pulling it as such. And I'm going to give you a close-up insert of this. And just like honing a real straight razor, you're pushing the edge of the blade, and when you're stropping, you're pulling the edge. So if the razor ever gets dull, you would just hone it. So when you're done honing your blade, usually 10 or 20 times is what you really need. That's all you really need. You take this side, put it on, you flip it, you remove the honing side, and you're left with the stropping side, which is the red side. And you would do the same action, but in this case, you're actually pulling the edge towards you. So you would strop that about 20 or 30 times, and then you're ready for the shave. And to take this blade off is just a simple twist. It locks in place, which is one of the great engineering marvels of this device. There's a twist handle here that locks it in place. And that's your safety razor. There's a guard here which prevents you from cutting the throat. That's what makes it a safety razor. So here's what my roast razor looks like. It comes with the original gift case, which is satin lined, and inside it comes with instructions how to use the roast razor. And these are the original instructions, folks. There's some tips on how to care for the blade, and you only get one blade with this razor. And this is the famous sardine can. The funny thing is, you'll see these in almost any antique store, but most people just bypass it. They don't realize what it is. It's a gem, I tell you guys. So that's the honing edge, which is a sharpening stone essentially. It's very fine. Feels like it's about 1,000 grit, maybe 2,000 grit. And then the inside here has a leather strap. So you need to flip it and reverse it in order to take it out properly. There's a leather strap there. And the handle is like this. And there's a part here that turns, which allows you to tighten and loosen the razor. There's a little ball bearing, I guess, that comes up and holds the razor in place right there. And that's easy enough to take off. You just twist it. That's what the blade looks like. The safety latch moves back and forth so that you can put this into your handle either this way or this way. Let's see if I can zoom in for you. That's about as close as my nifty 50 can get you. So what makes this unique is that it's got a built-in mechanism to allow you to hone this blade. And when you're honing, you're actually pushing that edge, as you can see there. Now what's interesting is that when I put on the stropping side, the engineering switches around, the mechanism rather. And all of a sudden you're pulling the edge rather than pushing it. And these are the same principles that you use when you're honing a straight razor and stropping a straight razor. So let's take this out. How you would install it is by slipping this in here. Open that up a bit more. You're about to where the center is. Lock that in place. And now you've got your safety razor there. And as I said, the guard goes up and down. And that's the shaving position right there, with the guard just below the edge of the blade. I'll give you a little bit of history on this razor. Let me make sure this one's in focus. The Rose Razor Company was a British company. This razor was first used in 1922, and the Rose Razor Company produced two products, one being this very sophisticated safety razor. At the time it was very sophisticated, and even today it's very sophisticated in my opinion. Sometime during its history, when it came under new ownership, they decided to focus on the new product, which was an affordable twin tub washing machine. Unfortunately, when they shift their focus, they kind of ruined the company in my opinion. I think if they focused on this, they would still be producing that today, whereas the washing machine has gone like the wind. I've never heard of a Rose Razor washing machine, but that's a little bit of history for you. Now here's another little bit of history. I bought this razor off eBay. Can't remember how much I paid for it, but it was a very reasonable price. And that's what I received originally. The case with the razor in immaculate condition. What had happened was the seller, some lady in the States, found the rest of this package and she sent it to me. I believe this belonged to her dad. So back then, a blade with guard complete in plastic case was $3.75. Well, like if you think about it, that's less than what it costs for a package of disposable Gillettes. That's $30 now, boys and girls. It also comes with some strop paste. This is a price list for spare parts. And this is interesting. This is dated October 29th, 1953. A blade, one strop dressing, a hone, one strop, one clip. Came out to $3 for this. Now here's a piece. There is a sconce. The original bill from Rose Razor Incorporated at 338 Madison Avenue in New York. It was sold to Mr. Schellenbarger on 127 Ramsden Street. I went and Googled it on Google Maps, and unfortunately that address is now the address of a shopping mall. So the house has been torn down subsequently. I hate to say it, but I guess the owner has passed on, and this was sold to me by his daughter. And like I said, this was $3 for this whole set here back in 1953. Just to give you another close-up of that envelope. So I've kept this in my collection because I think it's nostalgic, and it's a little piece of history that is pretty hard to come by nowadays. So I thought I would share with you how to put this thing back together, because it's not so easy. So these two pieces have a big stub and a small stub, and then they're inverse on the other one, and these correspond to the case. So the small stub goes in there and the big one, and I always like to put the gray side first, which is the home side first. The reason why is because you're going to put the blade in next. And that ensures that it's locked into place. And you keep the hone side down. And the hone side is the one that has the rose razor emblem on it. Now this piece here, the handle, locks in right there. And that's how it travels. Now again, the stubs match up to the holes there. And this side has some wording on it, but it doesn't have the emblem, so you know that side's the strap side, so that stays up. And that's it. So I managed to find my strap paste, or strap dressing as it's called here, in my collection, and you can see here that the box is fairly tattered. I'm like, the thing's 65 years old, believe it or not, but it's in pretty pristine condition for something that's 65 years old. Even the sandpaper that you see there is in good condition. Now here you can see the little slip that came with it, rose razor strap dressing, and it explains how to use it. The reason why there's that little piece of sandpaper is so that if you need to redress your strap for any reason, you would use that to kind of clean it off and then reapply your paste. Let me tell you why I like this razor so much. First of all, if you take really good care of it, it could theoretically last you a lifetime, just like most of the straight razors out there. It can be re-honed over and over again. You don't need to hone it every day. You only need to hone it whenever it goes dull, which might be a week, once a week, once a month. YMMV, people. Another reason why I like it is because it's super sharp. That's because it was very well maintained. It's just like shaving with a straight razor, but the hand movement is just like a safety razor. So if you're not comfortable with using a straight razor, and especially if you're a new wet shaver, then consider picking up one of these. If you find one and you're not really sure how to restore it, hit me up. I'll be happy to give you some tips. It's compact, so you can take it traveling with you. It packs well in its own case. It's great for traveling. It's got its own built-in strap, built-in sharpening stone. What more could you ask for, people? You can pick up something like this for less than $50. Probably 20 if it's in bad condition. I got this for about $35 US, which is a steal of a deal. And I hope you can get a deal like that too. If you ever see something like this, don't pass up on it. You should pick one up. It's a great addition to your collection. So I hope you enjoyed this review. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. If you like the video, please share it with your friends, family, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever you want. Oh, by the way, this can be used by both men and women. We both shave, so let's be realistic about this. It's a great razor for both men and women. Just like any shaving product, to tell the truth. Yeah, like I said, like and share if you would mind. And if you want to see more of my reviews, hit the subscribe button. Thanks a lot. Take care.